Our top story of the week. It was the shot heard around the world. That shot being a chair to the back of Roman Reigns that set off a pretty shocking turn of events that would see Seth Rollins betray the Shield and align himself with Evolution. On the WWE Network's Raw post-show, Triple H summed up the segment with two simple words: I win. It's been mentioned many times before on this show that the Shield has outsmarted and outpowered Evolution at every turn, but just when we all thought the battle was over and Triple H had lost, he strikes the most crushing blow of this entire war. Where do we begin?
Seth Rollins turning heel was definitely a shock because I don't think anybody really expected it. I think everybody expected him to be a face because of his style. And look at TNA, what happened when they turned Jeff Hardy and this, that, and the next thing. He's just too excited to be a heel. He's too nice to be a heel. But at the same time, I have to wonder because I will say, I joke a lot about Seth Rollins. Okay, I get a lot of people who get a little upset over how I dismiss him, apparently.
Butthurt?
A little butthurt, yes, if you want to go full-on heel with it. But let me ask you this, because a lot of people have been sending me the old, look who the star is, this, that, and the next thing. If you were the WWE and you were going to book one of the Shield members to turn heel and join Evolution, let's play a little game here. Would you choose A, someone you had confidence in to reach a main event level as a singles competitor, or B, the one you have the least confidence in to do so? I'm sorry, but the WWE just happened to have chosen B. Seth Rollins.
You have wait. You have least confidence in him, the Dean Ambrose?
Yep.
Wow.
The WWE happened to choose what they felt was the least capable of the Shield to reach a point of main event stature on their own. They felt that Seth Rollins needed a moment. Seth Rollins needed something to define him. Seth Rollins needed this big moment to make people care about Seth Rollins, because the fact of the matter is he didn't really have that main event caliber persona to him. And now he can kind of do that. Triple H can kind of be his mouthpiece, and the other two guys can actually elevate themselves. And Seth Rollins now has this kind of building block to build himself a character and step away from just being the great in-ring worker. Which I definitely applaud them for doing, because I think it was the right choice to do that in that way. But yes, for those of you that have been tweeting me that they knew who the star was, no, they're attempting to salvage the star.
Let me just start off by saying my jaw hit the damn floor when everything went down. It was a genuine moment of confusion and utter shock where I was like, what the hell just happened? What did I see? I just had so many unanswered questions swirling through my mind to the point where I didn't know what to make of Rollins turning on the Shield then, and even with a few days to process the events, there's still a lot that I just don't know. However, here's what I do know. I look at the principle in which Evolution was founded upon: the past, the present, and the future of pro wrestling. Ric Flair and Triple H had their receipts to back their shit up. As far as Randy Orton and Batista are concerned, it's great that we got a chance to see, a decade later, that when they were deemed to be the future of professional wrestling, that wasn't just BS. It wasn't a case of Drew McIntyre being called the chosen one simply to artificially inflate his importance. This was real. That was real. Evolution was real. We lived through the years of the world title reigns, main events, and everything that solidified those claims. But even without that hindsight, in the moment when they initially joined Evolution, I believed it. They fit the megastar mantra of Evolution. The commanding presence, the star quality, the opulence, the it factor. All of that was reflected in Batista and Randy Orton. The same cannot be said for Seth Rollins. I can't even bring myself to call him a member of Evolution because I saw the shit with my own eyes, but I refuse to believe it. It just doesn't seem like a natural fit, and the whole friggin' thing comes off as forced. But depending on where they go from here, it could determine whether that was intentional or not. For where we stand right now, though, Triple H's part was amazing in the setup and the execution. He continues to be a great heel by playing off of the perception that exists about him with certain fans, a few of which happen to be on this panel right now. We all sat on this very show arguing about how Triple H was going to get his win back some way, somehow, and He damn sure did, but not in a way that any of us would have considered. And with that happening, this definitely shakes WWE to the core. I said on the Payback review that the Shield had their best showing in their entire run in WWE on that show. So with Seth Rollins leaving when they're at their peak, it does present a very intriguing situation that I'm really looking forward to seeing unfold on TV.
And going back to your comment about how he doesn't seem like a natural fit, I tend to agree with you, because when Evolution was founded, you had Triple H and Ric Flair that represented the experience. You had Randy Orton that represented the young and raw talent that needed to be molded. And Batista really served, he was young too, but he really served as a powerhouse. Now, without that powerhouse, it doesn't seem like the same Evolution group. And you know what it's going to take for me to really acknowledge Seth Rollins as a mainstream main event star? He has to go out on, well, hopefully not on SmackDown. So let's say next week on Raw. He has to come out and convince me that in his own mind, as far as his character goes, he felt justified in turning his back on his brothers and in trying to, I guess, break away and become an individual star. Sort of like what Triple H did when he said it was his time and he needed to get what was right for him and things of that nature.
Well, and I think we should look with Seth Rollins not fitting into. Evolution was also built on this like high life, these like stars, these like guys you see on the street and you can just tell that they're just better than you, and walking around in the suit and flying in the jets and at the parties. And it does not seem like that is Seth Rollins in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering, where do they go from here? Do they go the route of trying to make us believe that that is who Seth Rollins is? So many thoughts are running through my mind of different avenues that WWE could take here. Like on the next episode of Raw, are we going to see Seth Rollins come out to the ring in a suit? Are we going to see Seth Rollins speaking differently? Are we going to see Seth Rollins in the ring? Basically, are we going to see a different Seth Rollins? Because Seth Rollins in the Shield isn't the same as Seth Rollins in Evolution. Is there going to be that evolution of his character that follows?
Well, to use one of Triple H's words, are we going to see a situation whereby Seth Rollins is forced to adapt to the Evolution, or is Evolution going to adapt to allow Seth Rollins in?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. When I say that this is forced, shit, I still believe that, but it's very, very intriguing. There are just so many avenues that they could take here, and I have the slightest, I do kind of have an idea, but I'm still marinating on that one. Charlie, you brought up a very, very interesting vantage point on the situation that Seth Rollins, he kind of needed this the most. It wasn't what they wanted to do, but what they felt they needed to do to kind of give him that boost.
Well, everybody kind of looked at Ambrose, and I think they look at Ambrose and they say Ambrose can talk. He's probably one of the best guys on the mic in the company. They can find a way to repackage him in a way that makes him a star. And then Roman Reigns, they got to keep him face. He's great at getting the heat on him and then making the babyface comeback. He doesn't need to be great on the mic because his presence can make up for what he lacks. So I think they really did look at it and they said, how are we going to create a situation where all three of these guys have the utmost potential to succeed? And they said, if we're going to get Rollins into a main event role, he's going to have some big moment on his resume, not just splitting from the Shield and becoming himself and trying to do it that route, because I don't think they felt like it would work.
And the next few weeks are going to be absolutely crucial in developing Rollins, because if he doesn't grow into something more than what he is, if he doesn't gain some sort of semblance of individuality and mainstream star power from this, then this will be a wasted moment. And it's still shocking, but it's not going to be one of the biggest shocks of all time, because no one will remember it if he doesn't live up to it.